Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Matthew, Watty's channel. Once again, thank you for joining me. I know in the last video or a couple videos ago, I mentioned that at the conclusion of the Hasbro review videos, I wanted to dive into the AWA Rumco tournament videos, but one of my Rumco guys, I've talked about him before, Russ with Steelers 12 on eBay, absolute huge talent when it comes to customizing these Rumco figures, and I've been buying up a ton from him. He's kind of driving me crazy though, but driving me crazy on a good side. So when he puts up his listings on eBay, he does it for 10 days. As a buyer, for me, when I sell items, I don't like doing 10 days. I just kind of feel like it takes away from interested buyers because they don't want to wait as long to get their products. So he does put stuff up for 10 days, and I might have a list of figures that I'm waiting to pay for because I want to combine all the figures into one, save on shipping costs, etc. So I might have like 7 figures or something, and I might be like 2 days away from like the end of another auction, and I could add like 2 or 3 more figures and then go ahead and pay for it. But then he comes up with another auction of like that ends in 10 days. So in a nutshell, I'm trying to get all these figures all at one time, and every so often he posts new amazing figures. So at this point, I'm probably looking at 2 or 3 weeks, maybe, of when I can actually start those videos. So I definitely want to have all of the figures available. But if this is like a yearly thing, it really wouldn't hurt because, I could always make those, new videos with the inclusion of the new figures, next year. But at the same time, I really don't want to wait a year to show off these figures. I've been purposely holding off any of my Rumcos because of that purpose, because I didn't want to show them off until I actually make those tournament videos. That way everybody gets a fresh view of the figures for the first time during those tournaments. So I'm really excited about that. So today, with the conclusion of the Hasbro review, I figured I'd dive right back into the videos featuring characters made from different toy lines. So today's video, unfortunately, I only have 3 figures. One is a custom. I actually thought I had 1 or 2 Jakks Classic Superstars of this figure or of this character, but I don't. Sorry. So yeah, 3 figures should be a pretty quick video, probably 12-15 minutes. Depends on how much I'm gonna talk about it. So I'm going to start at number 3. These are all amazing figures, but number 3 on my list from Grapplers and Gimmicks is the Charles Wright action figure. So when I was talking about the Series 6 review of Papa Shango, I showed this figure just as a quick reference. So this is actually a variant. There's actually 2 different color schemes for this figure, and I think the original one had like him in like orange pants or something. But they re-released this figure, or they came out with an offer to buy this, one-time offer type of deal. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to miss out on it. It's a good-looking figure. I have the Ahmed Johnson. It's nice to pick up a version of the Papa Shango person. As I said, Charles Wright. So they call this pimp guy Smoke Train Charles Wright. So I would assume that with this particular pose, he has the same thing where the guy's got to twist their body and they snap forward. Has the nice little right extended arm. Am I ever gonna buy a duplicate of this figure loose to have? That's always the go, to have both carded and loose figures. But for something like this, I don't know. Because I'm a mint on card collector, anytime I get a package in and I really want that to open up the item, it just physically kills me inside to sit there and have to open up the package. It drives me nuts. That's why if I'm going to bid on something loose, I want to find it, already loose. And it kind of sucks because, like, what's a good example? How about the Nikolai Volkov Mattel Retro? You buy that figure on card, you could probably get it for as little as $3 or less. On card, $3. If you buy it loose from certain sellers, you may pay upwards of $10. So it's kind of crazy how that works out. But Smoke Train Charles Wright, as I mentioned during the Papa Shango review, I'm not gonna bring in a lot of new information. It's just the bare minimum essentially. So he started off, I think, late 80s, early 90s, and he was just going by, Charles Wright, or kind of like a gimmick off of Charles Barkley, Sir Charles type of deal. Eventually, he made his way to the WWF, I think around 92, 93. And as Vince McMahon said, he kind of had like this baby face a little bit, so they kind of want to cover that up. Kind of make him a heel, make him like this really scary looking guy essentially. I mean, the man was built like a beast. So this is where the Papa Shango gimmick came into play. And as you know, if it's going to be Hasbro, more than likely with these type of videos, Hasbro or LJN are going to come in at the number 1 slot. So the thing with Papa Shango, the only downside of this particular figure is this, I'm not like the biggest fan of this. Even though I've said many times, I kind of feel like that working action feature on this particular figure works beautifully. He comes with, I don't know if you can see it back here. Now this is just a spare, so I don't keep it on my spare. But he comes with the little skull necklace and everything. And, he had like this witch doctor type of gimmick going on, and as a kid, I absolutely loved that. I mean, I didn't realize until recently that this was a very hated gimmick for Charles Wright, and I'm like, why? When you compare to what he's portrayed in the future, I think this is one of my favorite gimmicks ever. And he had like these little one-on-one matches with like Kamala and stuff, and I always thought that was absolutely insane having those two kind of square off. Later on, he. What was it? It was a part of the $1 Million Corporation or anything. As Kama. I remember Kama. He was like this boxer type guy, but do I have a lot of history or memories of Kama? Absolutely not. I know the name. That's essentially it. I remember watching him. I remember Kama kind of like duked it out with The Undertaker. Ended up stealing his urn, melting it down for that gold chain he used to wear around his neck. In real life, did that happened? Most likely not, but that was the storyline with the WWF, was that Kama, or Papa Shango, Charles Wright, however you want to call him, and of course later on Mabel, your King of the Ring winner and whatnot, also feuding with Undertaker. He ended up stealing that gold chain anyways, and I don't know how the Undertaker got that chain back. 25 years ago or so this happened, so over 25 years. I don't know if he had to get a whole brand new urn, or if the storyline was that he melted it back into an urn. Anyways, but you know how the urn gives Undertaker power. So number 2 is the Papa Shango action figure from Hasbro. And again, I only have really 2 original figures with 1 custom, and I could have held off to get a few more Papa Shango, Charles Wright, Goodfather / Godfather type figures for this video, but I just got this particular custom in probably a week ago, and I've been dying to show it off, and I think it's a fantastic look. Maybe not the best for some viewers, but I absolutely love it. The Papa Shango custom of LJN. So I've been getting a lot of Junkyard Dog figures in, such as the Jim Neidhart and the Papa Shango. So I think, Junkyard Dog obviously is a top 20 action figure based on fighting pose and playability. But just the way you kind of hold it, kind of grip it, it never really felt like a really easy playable figure, even though he had that great pose. But I have to admit, what we got from Jim Neidhart and what we got with Papa Shango, utilizing the junkyard dog pose, is absolutely phenomenal. And I love the little built-in torch right here, little tiki torch or whatever that is. You could actually see his arm move, and it's got like a little cut. Let me see it, a little cut right here in the arm. So hopefully that doesn't come loose, but I mean, it's not a playable figure. I mean, obviously it's simply for display, and it's got a lot of markings on it, as you can see. You can still feel like the stickiness of the paint. Is it 100% perfect? I mean, is it like your highest quality of custom? No, but I love it. I'm glad I picked it up, and it's still better than 90% of what you get from Random Treasures. So, I'm happy to have this, to have a Papa Shango LJN figure. And, you know, Papa Shango, he is one of those characters that I've always said I wanted to have as LJN, right? So, you know, Papa Shango being one. You know, I finally, you know, last year was able to get that 1, 2, 3 kid, which is awesome. An authentic Yokozuna LJN. That's like the last like really big dream figure for that line. Will that ever happen? Possibly. My buddy Eric, whenever I get that box in that I've been waiting for, what was in there? The faces, the 3 faces of Crush. That's one of those highlight pieces for me. And El Gigante. I got the Giant Gonzalez being made into LJN form, so that's gonna be awesome. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, this is only a 12-minute video so far, and I didn't expect this video to take too long. What time is it? It is currently 8:27 a.m. on August 19th, so I am going to post this video today. In fact, I'm going to probably post it within the next 20 minutes or so. So luckily, this is one of those rare times where I make a video and post the video at the same time, or same day. After this video, again, I'm not doing Remco tournament yet, and I'm not going to do a new like major review like Mattel Retros or anything like that. But I do want to get into the Mattel monster collections. So zombies, monsters, and mutants. And I'm going to start with the monsters. I think that came out third. I'll talk about it a little bit when I make that video coming up next. Alright, thanks for watching, everybody, and I will talk to you in the comments. Goodbye, everybody. Gotta find the pause button. There we go. Oh, still didn't work. Nope, we're counting down. I'm frozen. Alright, I could probably edit this out, but I don't know how to, so...